Fahrenheit TV.
Give it up to DJ Lady Lee, bringing back a great throwback on a Thursday, Michael Jackson. So me and Justin are going to introduce to you guys an extraordinary soul, a beautiful person who creates music that not only has a great message to it, but it makes you dance, it makes you feel good, and he's a creative in Boston, and I think you guys all need to know if you don't know. And he goes by the name of Boycott Blues. So welcome into the stage is Boycott Blues. Woo!
Hey.
Thank you so much. It's nice to meet you again.
Peace. Peace.
Awesome.
Nice to meet you.
Nice thank you for coming on the show. How do you feel? How's your day going so far?
Oh, it was a great day.
Yeah.
It was really busy.
Mm-hmm. Which is good. Busy is good.
For those that don't know, I work with the youth, and today was second to last day of our summer camp. And we had a showcase. The kids did great. Parents showed out. It was a blessing.
Yeah.
A lot of love in the building.
That's awesome. That's so cool. And I love that you work with the youth. So is that like your 9 to 5 every day?
Yeah. That's what I do. I've been working with the youth in different after-school settings for about, I'd say, 12 years now.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I just want to give a little shout out because your sister was actually on our show last August, Carmen.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, it's just like, it's so awesome to have, you know, your legacy here on our stage because you guys are both so equally talented.
Wow,
so,
I had no idea.
Yeah, she came here last August and we did a show about our upcoming vagina monologues, and we talked about things that are going on, and like she's just such a great, you know, inspiration. So it's cool to have her, you know, her brother on the stage now. It's like, woo, look at all your legacy.
Shout out Carmen Cohen.
Yeah, shout out to Carmen.
Yeah, she actually involved me in not the vagina monologues, but the V-Day monologues.
Oh, good. Yeah,
and,
you were an actor in there.
Yeah. And she actually, recently she had me do the man's prayer.
Oh, okay.
At the beginning of vagina monologue.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's something new that they're involving men in this, but I think it's very important that we're included in the conversation if you let us at the table.
Yeah,
you know?
and that's really important. So Justin's going to start off our interview because we want to know a little bit more about your music and all the things that you're creating. It's so dope.
Thank you.
So I have 2 questions for you.
Yes, sir.
First question, what inspired you to pursue music?
I was a young man like you, and I had a big brother that was 10 years older than me. He started a rap group in high school. It was probably like, 10 to 15 deep.
Yeah.
They had all different...
10 to 15 deep?
Yeah,
wow.
I would say so. We would hang out in
That's a lot, right?
our friend's basement, and we were all creatives. Some of us were visual artists, some of us were rappers, some of us were DJs, some of us produced.
Oh, wow.
And it was just a collective of artists that came together. We had a lot of fun. United Bamboo, shout out to United Bamboo, and Cola Click.
Awesome.
Next question. What artists do you look up to for inspiration?
I look up to a lot of artists. Mainly, I've been compared to a few, but some of my favorites are Mos Def, Rakim, not to mention, the greatest. They say the greatest, Nas, Jay-Z, Pun, Biggie. But I listen to a lot of Black Star.
And all of those people are lyricists. Their content is not just about like a dope beat that is gonna be like a song you like just for the summer or something. But they actually have like a good message in it, which is awesome. And I'm like, I see that in your music. When you said Mos Def, I was like, yes. When you said Rakim, I was like, oh man, that's like so true.
Right.
Yeah.
One I like to plug is that Black Thought album, Streams of Thoughts.
Yeah.
And JKool, I think he had an excellent album.
I love all, because they know the true essence of hip hop. So is that like what made you want to be in hip hop, not only because of your brother, but because of like it has such a strong it's a strong tool that you can use?
Yeah, I mean, I was born in '82, so I was exposed to all the elements from DJing to graffiti. I mean, I'm friends with a lot of visual artists that do, you know, they paint on canvas and also on walls. Shout out to ALA, African Latino Alliance.
Awesome.
They splintered out into a whole bunch of different groups and everything. So yeah,
That's
they're
cool.
still in the
So okay, before we get into like your music, so when you're creating, right? Like if you were to make like a cooking recipe, like what ingredients goes into your music to create like your music?
I mean, the main ingredient is love. You know, just trying to make your community better. I remember when I was younger, my pen just had a completely different voice. I wasn't concerned about, you know, the public's well-being or my community so much. You know, it was always in the back of my mind. But as a young person, I was kind of like wild and reckless, and I was just trying to get shock and awe out of people. But I remember releasing one of my first projects, and it was kind of, it was very reckless, and it was on some old kind of like shoot 'em up, bang bang, survival of the fittest. What you think people
want to hear, because that's like kind of like what's like goes on in music.
It was like my experience, but also too was something that I was seeking out. It wasn't necessarily like, you know, my own. Talking to other artists or listening to other artists, there was a song by my friend Uno the Prophet. One of the lines goes, we're busy trying to fit into these roles that weren't necessarily made for us. You know what I mean? So we've been duped into thinking that we're supposed to play this role. You know what I mean?
Because society kind of tells us to, or like shows us images that like this is what you belong doing.
Right, but it's just not so. It's not sustainable. You know.
Awesome.
But, yeah.
Do you consider yourself a conscious rapper? Because like, you know, we were listening to some of your songs, watching your videos. Don't you love his videos? Aren't they like dope? Yeah, his videos are so awesome. And I'm listening to like, you have so many range of topics. So you talk about like social issues in like the song Coupons. You talk about accountability in the song like I Know. You talk about relationship and like what's love. So like, would you consider yourself a conscious rapper?
Absolutely. I'm not asleep. And I feel like any artist that puts the pen to paper is awake. They're woke, quote unquote. But the thing is, even when you're in denial, you're still living in reality. You still know, you know what I mean? It's a feeling. You may not have the language, it may not have, it hasn't come to the surface yet, but denial is a form of consciousness. So I think that's where a lot of us are. A lot of us have to rethink our position, and some have the freedom not to. You know what I mean? So
that's just unfortunately how the world works and stuff.
Right. But I'm here to, you know, just speak on my behalf and what I see.
And is that why it's like it's so important for you to like, you know, get those messages not only to the world, but like you work with the youth, so I'm pretty positive they see you as an inspiration. I would say so. You know, whenever I walk in the building, it's all smiles. We do check-ins, you know, check in with the family whenever the family comes in. I'm talking to mom, pop, uncle, sister, whoever comes in, you know what I mean? So we keep the lines of communication open. That's awesome. So we're going to go to a quick break, and then after the break, we're going to learn a little bit more about your journey in music, and, you know, also hear a song. So stay tuned. DJ Lady Lee, can you bring us to a break?
Pre-diabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get pre-diabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for pre-diabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
Fahrenheit TV.
just bringing out the jams. All right. So thank you guys so much for still tuning in with us and for kicking with us and learning about these incredible artists. We have Boycott Blues here on the Fahrenheit TV stage. And I just want to share a quick little story. So I didn't know that you were a creative or a musician or a creative until one day I was about to catch the orange line and I ran into you and I was like, oh, how's everything going? How's life and everything like that?
Right.
And you're like, yeah, you know, you were just jamming out to a song. You're like, yeah, I wrote this song. I'm like, what? So I'm like, you know, I have like 4 stops before I get off and I start listening to it and I'm like, oh my gosh, this song is so dope. Like the beat is good. I'm like, it's early in the morning. I felt turned up and I'm listening to the lyrics and stuff. And then I'm like, so like, when did you create this? Like still dancing? You're like, oh, I made it on my phone.
Yeah.
You made it on your phone? What?
Yeah.
Can you explain that? Like how you producing music on your phone? Yeah, it's like so dope.
Yeah, so it's funny. I was thinking about perfection and leveling up. And I was just all like, one of my things is not to be perfect, not to, you know, like for this show specifically, I bought sneakers for it and I forgot it under my desk at work. And I'm like, ah, there. You know what I mean?
But like, I had a plan.
But I'm like, yo, I gotta go do this interview anyway. You know what I mean?
And you still looking fresh. You got your Nikes on, you know what I mean? Still keeping it. Exactly.
Hey, you know what I mean? So with that, my equipment has been down for a while. I mean, I got sessions from like other artists. They're like, yo, banging down the door, like, yo, can we get to it? And I'm like, yo, I'm going to invest in that. Yeah. But for now, I have this device in my hand. Yeah. And it's a studio in my hand. So whenever you want to rock, let's go. Yeah. Like, so I have maybe over 1,000 songs just sitting there. Wow. And it comes to a point where like I need to record more. Like I write every day.
That's a good tool, like a good practice to write every day.
Yeah, and I got tons of like producer friends, but then I was like, you know, I broke down and not like physically broke down, but like I just went and got an iPhone, found that there was GarageBand on it. Wow. I had the phone for like 3 months, picked it up, messed with it, then put it back down, and then I came back and I started producing something that was actually pretty decent. Put on the bass, and I'm like, yo, this is actually nice. Let me record something. I couldn't get it past 8 bars, and then I hit something by accident and expanded to 80 bars, and I'm like, that means I can record a full song off my phone. So, you know, I'm on the bus, I'm on the train, I'm in the snow, I'm in the rain, like, you know what I mean? I'm just going, like, just being creative.
And I think that's so dope because a lot of times, like, especially for creatives, you might think that you need, like, you know, like, expensive tools, you need to be in a studio, but, like, I'm listening to your song and I'm thinking that you produced this in a big studio, and you're like, oh, I just made it on my phone. I'm like, that's so cool. A studio
in the palm of my hand. And I found out, like, from my other friends, shout out to Nelly Pro Tools, he just told me that at OG, actually, you know, when he wants to get an idea down, he goes right to his iPhone, records something. Sorry if I'm putting out any secrets out there. But I've also heard that there's like actually big artists that are making a name for themselves that have been recording with, you know, GarageBand off their iPhone for years.
I mean, like, think about like when people make like music videos and stuff. Sometimes you don't have the big budget to like, you know, get all this fancy stuff. So you might be like, you know what, we're just gonna take this phone and we're gonna record some footage, put the music on, and then bam. I think it's really important, especially that you're using tools that we have already, and that you're making like magic, which is so dope.
Thank you.
Magic. Yes. Awesome. So as an artist, do you feel that Boston has like enough opportunities for creatives? Do you feel like we should have more things, or?
Yeah, as far as opportunity, it's everywhere and you just got to take it. You know what I mean? Like I heard about this and I'm like, yes, gladly, thank you. You know what I mean? So I think it's there. The industry has changed so much. I feel like I was like the last of the Mohicans, if that's politically correct to say. I released the album in 2009 and I would say between 2007 and 2012 was like where the industry changed so much that it wasn't like physical copies of CDs. It was all being digitalized. And I remember sitting there like, sitting back like, finally, yo, I got an album and it's in my hands, and everyone's like, but why is it in your hands? Like, you know what I mean? I'm like,
but online or whatever.
But I'm like, this is the school that I came from. Like it's it's
Yeah, that's
a
how
physical,
people,
it's
like,
tangible.
they sell their CDs outside of their
Yeah.
trunk and stuff like that.
Right.
Like Master P used to do that.
But now
Yeah.
we're like pulling it out of the sky, and I'm with that. So like I'm jumping in.
That's
you know
awesome.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. You want to ask a question?
So I have 2 more questions for you.
Yes,
I just want to ask them. Okay, so first question. How do you continue to level up in terms of your career and personal life?
Yes. So just that perfection piece. It's just I remember feeling like, you know, I have to, you know, dress the part. I have to act the part. One of my first interviews after I released my album in '09, it's called Irony. I'm doing this interview, and I remember just like everyone in the crowd, like my crew, or quote unquote my entourage, if you want to go that far.
Your tribe was
Yeah,
like,
they're sitting in the crowd and they're just like looking at me like,
like
and I'm like,
confused, like, what's
yeah,
going on?
but it was because I was just being a person and I was talking like this. At this time, it was shout out to Cheddar with the Cheddar DVDs and Smack DVDs, and a lot of MCs that were, you know, breaking out at that time were on these DVDs, and they spoke in a manner that just seemed, I don't know, like everyone was talking the same, like, yo, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, yo, I just don't do that. Like, I talk like this. You know what I mean? And like for
that's
years.
That's your flow, that's your style, yeah.
Yeah, so
that's
like.
Who you are.
Right, right. And I remember even seeing Joe Budden when he was blowing up off of Pump It Up.
Yeah.
And
back in like
and like
2002,
everyone has like this idea of him, and then he goes on BET and he's in a suit and a tie, and he's speaking like, hey, how you doing? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of times people
like,
don't know that's a
crazy.
persona. It's like you like I'm pretty sure like, you know, big leads that we think like they're just like very calm when you talk to them. They're not like, you know, doing all the craziness on stage. It's like 2 different people. So, yeah. I'm glad that you were yourself though.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But it's funny because when I do make a record, and it's, you know, socially aware material, they're like, yo, that it just doesn't sound like the same person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my whatever anger or energy that I'm working with at that time, I don't know if it changes my voice or cadence or whatever, but I'm like, nah, that's the same person.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, that's my train of thought at that moment.
It's like music is almost like your therapy. It's like you put out, you know, your feelings and stuff on there.
Exactly,
That's
it's the outlet.
Next question. What tips would you give to someone who may be shy to showcase his or her craft?
You don't think I'm nervous right now? Like, my heart is pumping, but like, just like how you admitted in the break, JKool, you know, he was just all like, yo, I'm nervous right now. And I'm like, what? Me too, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And I feel like that simple like expression, just letting it out, putting it out on the table. So it's not hidden. It's not like, you know, you're holding it in or whatever. Like, just let it out and be you. And that nervous energy is good for you. It'll add to your flavor. That's part of your charm.
And it also means that you care a lot. Like when you get nerves and stuff, it means that like there's something in you that's like, I want this to go great.
Right.
I want this to be like awesome. That like your body's like, all right, like you can do it. Like don't be nervous.
Can I talk on that?
Yeah.
It's like anxiety and like having an epiphany, having an understanding or a knowing. When I put out my first album, before that, I could just jump into a cypher and like, you know, kick whatever and just feel like nothing. But once I put out that album, I felt so, what is it? Like, it was just so real at that moment.
It was like, oh my gosh, it's finally happening.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I released the album and people are giving me compliments like, yo, I heard your album, that was crazy. I started breaking out in sweats like, you know what I mean? I'm like, yo, what? I can't take a compliment? Before it used to be nothing. Like, yeah, of course I'm nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
But when you know you're nice, but then you're actually displaying it and you care so much about it and you want it to rise and shine and everything, it's a different story. It's a
Yeah.
different ball game. You have to master that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You just
you
gotta,
have.
you have to be comfortable with it. Somehow.
Because you're great and you deserve to be living in your greatness. So before we break it, because you're gonna perform for us, so we're mad excited because we've been watching your videos all weekend. We've just been jamming, doing our thing. So I know you said you've released like albums since 2009. Do you have any upcoming music that we could look forward to, and how do we stay connected with you?
Right now, it's communal. Like my music, I'm on your doorstep. I'm in, you know, I'm on your street. I'm on the corner freestyling with my friends, or like, you know, anybody. Right now, I just want to get back to the performance piece. I've been recording. I do have a full project. I don't have a name for it.
Not yet. Still
Not
in the
yet.
works.
It's, you know what I mean.
The
It's coming to
ingredients are
fruition.
still being added to it.
But right now, I'm just trying to get into a lyrical shape, hit the stage, move around, have fun, connect with people, and you know what I mean. I wanna show out.
Awesome.
I wanna live on. I wanna live online.
Yeah.
Make some more videos.
Yeah.
I wanna do some
Let us
like
star
mini
in it.
movies.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're gonna
So do
start
we
with that.
find your music not only on YouTube, but SoundCloud, any other places that we could look for Boycott
Oh yeah.
Blues?
Look up Boycott Blues on SoundCloud.com. Most of my mixtapes are on there. But if you just Google search Boycott Blues, spelled correctly, BOYCOTT BLUES, you'll find my videos. And funny thing is, I thought I was being, you know, original with my name. I was Blues for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
Then I took on the name Boycott. And you know, once I released the album, I Google searched it, and there was a book about the Montgomery bus boycotts.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm like, but you know what? It's totally fine. It's right in line with what I'm talking about.
Exactly,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it
Awesome.
coincides.
I'm so excited because you're gonna be performing next. So do you want to bring us to the commercial break?
Yes.
You look right there.
So stay tuned, everybody. We're going on a commercial break.
We'll
See
be
you
right
next
back.
time.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
What's happening? What's happening? Hey, it's your boy Lil Jon. Pick your meat click. What's up, 40? What's happening? What's up, Sean Paul? What's happening? Hey, now ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time now. About that time. Turn this thing on out. Now let me see everybody do this. Hey, let's go.
Fahrenheit TV.
All class.
Can we turn it up?
Yo. OTI.
Yeah.
Your boy Kai.
Your boy Kai.
On the nice.
On the nice. Sound seduction in the violent function.
Yo.
Let's level it out. The box burying.
We just warming up.
Your love's got an expiration date on it. Your girls guaranteed they hate on it, but they can't front cause they want it with the ring and last name on it. And the cross says we aim on it. Hate on your breath, you put aim on it. Bleach your skin, still stained on it. High as hell, but still ain't on it. If you were honest with yourself, you probably packed for hell. Break that pad, let the pre-roll stack. I'm in the back, now pass that L. Think about the past and chill. Got a question, ask yourself. Ever been booked before? Took for a crook before? Been born with the look? Your love got an expiration date on it. Your girls guaranteed they hate on it, but they can't front cause they want it with the ring, last name on it. And the cross says we aim on it. Hate on your breath, put aim on it. Bleach your skin, still stained on it. High as hell, but still ain't on it. You getting roasted instead of toasted. Roses after your throat slit. Barely know how to swim, but see me after your boat split. Cross it over like Moses. Toes out in their nose. Don't constrict me like boas. Heard your speech sound bogus, but when I spit they all focus. My dad died from that Yola. No father figures, just shoulders. That show me what the hood code is. They'll get filed away in the folder and duck what they done told you and chuck what they done sold you. That product already molded. Your love got an expiration date on it. Your girls guaranteed they hate on it, but they can't front cause they want it with the ring, last name on it, and the crosshairs with aim on it. Hate on your breath, put aim on it. Bleach your skin, still stained on it. High as hell, but still ain't on it. Yeah, I'm a tornado with my eye on you. I kiss instead of kick like someone put a sign on you. That's not my dyslexia. Smart girls just sexier. You way more flexier than I thought IQ. IG, might as well GQ. I see you and raise like a card game over BM on a card game. That's Social Security for weak welfare, and she on her job under Renova, overrun under the table to do. You want some more sauce? Your love got an expiration date on it.
Seduction in the
On it.
Miles above the clouds, a lot of jumping. Got a nothing but a ride for something.
Give me that heat, I need that beat bumping. Hey now, hey, 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 hey. Woo! Ha.
All class.
So talk about y'all. Peace, y'all.
Go
ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Your
Go ahead.
Boycott on the night. Sound seduction and the violent function. Boycott. That's the
Thank you so much for performing. Yeah, that's awesome.
Fahrenheit TV.